Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel and welcome to the round 16 match preview. We are back after the bye. It's good to be back. It's good to have some football to look forward to this weekend. And it's a fairly big game, Sunday 1:10 p.m. at Marvel Stadium, back home, early game against Port Adelaide. A team that we have lost by under 10 points in the last 3 occasions. We've only played them 5 times. This will be our 5th time in the last 28 matches that it's been played in Melbourne. And we just don't have a good record against them. They're a bogey side pretty much. 2020 we beat them. Really nothing since then. And they're on their last legs. They're crawling to the finish line of the season. They got pantsed by Brisbane last week by about 79 points or something like that on their home deck. So Ken Hinkley is under a lot of pressure. We, on the other hand, performed pretty well against Brizzy, and then we had the bye. We're getting troops back at home, and we're just hopefully going to sprint to the finish and hopefully be the Grim Reapers of the season and just end teams like Port Adelaide's season. That'd be nice. You know, put Ken under some more pressure, see how he handles that. But for us, we're 5-9. We're out of the 8. But I just think it's a winnable game. It's an absolutely winnable game. We are favourites. Injury-wise, we're looking pretty good from the injury updates that came out the other day. Paddy Dow's a test. Jimmy Webster a test. Brad Crouch TBC. Jack Hayes TBC. Dougal Howard 1 week away. So we're looking very good there. We should be fielding a very strong team. Jimmy and Stocker to come in would be great. Obviously, Nasai Wanganeen-Malira, who missed the Brisbane game for personal reasons, you'd imagine he would be playing this week as well. So we're going to be fielding our strongest team pretty much for the entire season on Sunday. Rowan Marshall, Steely have all been in very good form. Obviously, for Port, they've got a stacked midfield. They've got Butters in there, Rosie's in there, Ollie Wines, Horn Francis. They've got a very, very good midfield. Travis Boak occasionally chops out through there now. Still going strong. So they've got a good team on paper. They're just kind of, I think for me at least, looking at Port Adelaide, I've always said I feel like they beat teams below them very comfortably and then they just struggle against teams around them and above them. That has always been their case. You look at their final series, you look at the way they've gone about every season under Ken Hinkley, they will beat most teams below them comfortably at home and away. But when it comes to beating teams that are in the 8s, top 4, they're nowhere to be seen. So that's been the case this year for me. I know we're below them on the ladder, but form-wise, we're not that far off them. They've not been looking that good lately. They've got a few sort of players that might be missing. I think they're forced to make one change this week with Jace Burgoyne to miss the clash with injury, but they're going to looks like they're getting Willie Rioli back from injury. And there's a host of other players that are in the mix for them to return. So they've got some players missing. They'll get some players back, similar to us. So it's going to be on Sunday. The thing with them is that they're just a big team. They're a tall team. That's the first thing I think about with Port is they've got a lot of talls. They've got some good smalls, but majority of the time they've got some big boys. Dan Houston down back is very, very good. Willem Drew, he's quite big. Jordan Sweet, obviously you've got their forwards in Georgiades, Charlie Dixon, who I don't think is playing. Lear down back, obviously. Todd Marshall, Finn Layson. I mean, I'm just going through the list. Even Sam Powell-Pepper's a pretty big lad and always turns up for us. Radicalea, I can go on. Like they've got Zerk Thatcher. Who else am I missing? Ollie Lord. Yeah, they've got like height wise, they cover us. They cover us pretty comfortably. But leg speed wise, like I watched them a couple of weeks ago. They played Geelong in Geelong, and in the first half, I've never seen a team take the game on more. I've never seen a team play fast football the way Port did. Since then, they've not looked like doing that. The way Brisbane got them was just sheer numbers to the ball, run and spread, and basically making Port chase, making them defend because Port don't want to do that. Port want to take the game on. all of their players, majority of them, you look at them, you go, they're attacking minded. Even their defenders are attacking minded. Illyria, Dan Houston, Radigalia, they want to mark and run off. They don't want to play defensive football. They don't want to play one-on-one football. I think that's the way we kind of thrive. I think we like the one-on-ones. I think we like, just beating our man. Maybe the collective is still struggling to gel, but one-on-one, we're not too bad. We don't shirk a contest. And we'll chase all day. And, I mean, the way we played against Brisbane, you look at that second half in particular, that last quarter. If we bring that sort of intensity, if we play that quick style of football, obviously maybe it's not sustainable for 4 quarters, but if we can be defensive but have those gears that we can shift to, then I think we'll cause some problems in this game. I think Port are very low on confidence. I know this is probably all going to come back to backfire, but you got to back your own team. And there's nothing that I see from Port in the last couple of weeks to tell me that we shouldn't be going into this game trying to take it on, trying to hurt them, trying to stuff their season up, kick a big score. From the last month, I think we're building confidence. Some of the games haven't been great. Brisbane had gelled a little bit more, but even before that, there were signs. There were some signs. I think the bye kind of came at an annoying time because I feel like we started to click into gear and then you miss a week. Hopefully that means we're very fresh. They're traveling over. They played last week. We didn't. I'm hoping that probably has a factor, although post-bye win-loss is always a bit of a worry to think about because you lose a bit of that momentum game to game. But if we can utilize the style that we found, get Liam Henry, Brad Hill, Nasai Wanganeen, Malira. I want to see Ari Shawmaker maintain his position if he gets subbed, if he's a sub or he gets dropped for Webster or Stocker. I think that's bullshit. I think he deserves to play pretty much every game for the rest of the season based on what we saw in Brisbane. I think, players like Riley Bonner, Zaki Jones, even Seb Ross, I think they're all probably going to be question marks on selection. So we'll see tonight when the teams drop. But I wouldn't be surprised to see all of them or a couple of them out, to be honest. With the players that are coming in, you just don't have the room to keep all of these players in. And form-wise, you'd say they're probably bottom of the barrel. Our smalls will be critical, especially, ground ball. It's going to be important for players like Max King and, Tim Membry. He's played at VFL the last week or two. Do we bring him in? I don't know. I don't think he's really warranted it. Based on what I've seen from, what he's done at VFL level, it's been pretty stock standard. Nothing massive, nothing amazing. So, do you persist with King and Caminiti down forward, but then Caminiti, can he go back? We played him in the back line against Brisbane. Is that going to persist? I've got a lot more question marks on, how much from the Brisbane game is going to change. I'm very curious about that because I liked what I saw from the Brisbane game. I'm just worried that was it just for Brisbane that we tried to play that way, or is that the way we want to play every single week, as close to it as possible? So that's what I'm more curious about. I don't think there's any major matchup. Like, I think obviously Horne-Francis, I would be the one to put Windy on. Like, I think he's probably their most dangerous mid. I know that people say Rosie and Butters are very, very good, and they are, but I think Horne-Francis is their heartbeat. I think that the others are the icing on the cake, but Horne-Francis is the base of the cake, and that holds it all together. And if he's off, if you keep him quiet, I think we can probably say that the midfield battle is, I guess, in our control a little bit more than maybe what it would be if he was off the chain, because he was good last time we played them. He was good in Melbourne. I remember that. We started like a house on fire in the first quarter. It was like 4-1. Horne-Francis pulled them back. He lifted. He was that drive that found a few kicks inside 50 and turned the game. It wasn't Rosie and Butters. So if I had to pick, I'd put Windy on Horne-Francis. But probably depends on the way the game's going. If he's quiet, but Rosie or Butters gets off the chain, you probably switch it around. But I don't want to be too defensive going to this game. We are at home, so I expect a good crowd, a good Saints crowd at least. Port Adelaide they're not going to draw that many fans, but for us, we need to be loud. We need to turn up. It's 1:10, so it's a bit of a shit time, to be honest. It's near lunchtime, brunch time in Melbourne, but no excuse. I fully expect us to be more than competitive in this game. I tipped us. That's just says it all. I tipped us. I think I want us to win this game. I expect us to win this game. I don't think it's too harsh to really suggest that, to be honest, with what I've seen from Port last week and what I've seen from us in the last couple of weeks. So On that note, I'll leave it there, Sainers. Put your thoughts in the comments. What's the biggest matchup? Who's the player that worries you the most? And what's your tip? Do you guys back me? You reckon we're in with a chance in this game? Or do you think that I got rocks in my head? Put it in the comments. Be honest. I think we're all feeling, from the Saints fans that I've spoken about, I think most of us are feeling a little bit bullish about this game. It's hard because we always do play teams that get put under the pump leading up to our game, and they always respond. The Bulldogs was one. I think there were a few other instances where the teams were under the pump and they came out guns blazing, but I don't know. It doesn't happen every time. This could be one of those games where... And I know Port fans, they are sick of Ken Hinkley. I can't believe reading it on Big Footy. There's that many of them that want Saints to dominate, to win by a lot, to basically put the nail in the coffin of Ken Hinkley. I can't believe that. It's crazy. So I think they're all over the place at the moment, Port. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. But I'll wrap it up there, Sanders. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 12,000 as soon as possible. And I'll see you after the game on Sunday. But until then, take care. And as always, go you mighty Saints. See you guys.